The sequel is now fucking here, where I've already made the video on what I do for my cut. So it's only natural that I finish it off and talk about what I do for my bulk. And what I've noticed is on videos where I put my peak bulk out there, what I look like at the end of my bulk, a lot of people are commenting things like, bro's peak bulk is me at the end of my cut. However, I'm going to be showing you how to stay lean pretty much year round, how to stay lean as much as possible. Yeah, let me just start with this over here. Lean basically is law. You know, everyone knows you look the best when you're lean. You want to stay as lean as possible, but you know, you gotta bulk eventually to put on muscle. And people, the common question now is, how do I stay lean while I bulk, you know? What I say is the only way you'll look lean by the end of your bulk is if you start bulking at around 8 to 10% body fat. This way, at the end of your bulk, you can ideally end at around 15%. That's when you'll be lean and like still have visible abs, still have like good definition. But if you don't give a fuck about that and you just want to get more muscle, you can go all the way up to 20%. You'll look good in t-shirts and shit, just not with your shirt off. I'm too much of a pussy to go to this percentage, however. And basically what we're going to do is lean bulk, slight calorie surplus. It'll start off around 200, and then later when my metabolism keeps like adjusting and I can't gain any more weight, I'll bump it up to 500, maybe even more if I'm a little greedy bastard. But this is all you really need to gain muscle, because you don't need that much calories. More calories, you're gonna get more fat than muscle. While we do this, we are going to be eating clean, whole foods. No processed shit. Everyone knows what eating clean is like, you know. Fruit, vegetables, good fucking meat, eggs, oats, potatoes, shit like that. It's not fucking McDonald's. What I do is get around 1 to 1.2 grams. You don't need that much. Most likely the average person doesn't need that much. Probably like 0.8 to 1 gram is pushing it. But I like to believe, I'm in my fantasy world, that I'm a genetic specimen and that only I will grow and surpass everyone by doing this. Is that true? I don't know. We're gonna find out, man. My weeks, these are my bulk and cutting weeks. My bulk, I'll go in bulk between 12 to 16 weeks. Cut is usually around 6 to 8 weeks. And the reason I do this is because I feel personally that when I'm bulking for more than 3 to 4 months, I'm gonna be gaining more fat than muscle at that point. It's just not gonna be worth it to keep bulking. The time it'll take to lose that fat is gonna override the amount of muscle I gain. And same thing goes with cutting, that once I cut for like 2 months straight pretty much, after that, like, I'm losing hella muscle, my lifts are going down. Yeah, that's, I keep pretty short cut and bulk cycles, and people like to be so funny, like, didn't you just start bulking? Whatever. Now, like, I'm 4 pounds heavier than I was by the end of my last bulk. That's like 4 pounds of solid tissue. That was like 3-month bulk, 8-week cut, somewhere like, what was that, 5 months for 4 pounds of fucking muscle this late game. Like, that's crazy. And I have a whole nother bulk and cut. Like, I can get like 10 pounds of muscle this year if I lock in. So yeah, it's pretty OP. And here we have, let me touch up on the golden ratio first. This is like what I stay in body fat percentage wise. So under the cut, 8%, end of the bulk, 14%. That's just when you look the best. I might, you know, go more than 14% because I don't really care at the end of my bulks if I want to like look that good, because I want to get some more muscle. But this is just when you look the best. Our first graph that is highly scientifically sourced and studied, and not something I drew right before I had to go to work. This is what it looks like during the lean bulk, okay? This is the body fat percentage, you know, 10, 12, whatever. Starting pretty low, around 10%, maybe even sub. So I'll start around single digit 4 weeks in, so like a month, you'll still be at like 10%, 11% body fat, because you'll pretty much just gain lean mass. So 2 months in, you're about looking at like 12% body fat. And then 3 months in, looking at like 14%. 4 months, that's like 16% body fat. Then it just keeps going higher. Like once you get to 20, like damn, you're at fucking 20% body fat. You know, this is just from my experience. So pretty much like you just get exponentially more fat the longer your bulk goes. And let me just go down to this graph where it's the same thing but muscle. The red line is muscle here. Gets pretty steady gains, constant growth the whole time through. And when you see you get to the 16th point here, you know, that's when the red goes under the fat line where you're going to be gaining more fat than muscle. And that goes down straight to the 4-month zone, like I stated prior. That's why I think 4 months max is good. Moving on. I made sure to add in the comma this time. Pretty much, if you're one of the people who are like, bro, like I just can't gain weight when I bulk. You know, I'm just such a fucking skinny, pathetic bitch. Eat more, okay? Yeah, also make sure you're not like focusing too much on the weight at that point where you're worried about the scale moving. You need to focus more on if your lifts are going up on the bulk, because that shows that you're getting more muscle, not fucking the weight. The weight could be fucking water, fat, you know, anything but muscle pretty much. So when you're lean bulking, you pretty much don't want to gain weight. That's a good like mindset to have. You just want to focus mostly on the lifts. For eating, at the end of my bulk, when my appetite is fucking cucked, I'll spend most of my time eating almost like an hour for like my bigger meals. But yeah, like, be prepared. You're gonna spend most of your day fucking eating. Finally, make sure if you are a person with a shit appetite, don't just like take MK67 or whatever, which is gonna like do shit with your hormones. Take liquid calories, make a shake, put some milk, put some fucking yummy shit in there. As long as it's like whole food. Training, I put JFL here because it doesn't really matter how you train too much. Training I feel like is like the least important, but I might as well put something that's pretty obvious, like we all know. Every week you must get stronger, so in a sense of progressive overload. So either you add some reps or you add some weight to your lift. Pretty simple. And another point, be afraid of the fucking weights. Like there's people who are like hitting their sets and they're talking. That shit pisses me off. You're able to talk while doing your weights and you're not lifting. Okay, you're not making any growth that way. You should have it where the first rep is like just as hard as like all the other ones. Like I'll get fucking 40 pounds on the lateral raise on the cable. You know, motherfuckers will have that shit on like the top thing, like 10 pounds on some bullshit. Like that's gonna do anything. Oh, I'm focusing on the stretch. I'm focusing on the... No, bro, you need to fucking train heavy as shit and be scared that you're fucking gonna rip your muscles, okay? And yeah, stay low reps. I do this not just for bulking, for like everything. This is what fucking blew me up. Very high intensity. Make sure you're like low volume, obviously, if you're gonna go that high intensity. Carbs versus fats. I don't really know on this one, okay? And I don't really care to do my research. I don't think it's that fucking important. As long as you're getting your protein. I prefer high carbs than fats. But yeah, I'll have like 400 carbs. Fats are like 60, 80. Next, the ectomorph versus endomorph bullshit that for some reason is back on the internet. Pretty much, this is all a fucking lie, okay? Don't believe this shit. You have this person who's like just starting the gym. He's 10% body fat. And you have this cunt who's just starting the gym who's 20% body fat. And there you have the genius idea, oh, I'm gonna bulk. This guy who starts at 10% body fat, you know, he's been skinny his whole life. I'm such an ectomorph, I just can't put on weight. When in actuality, his appetite is shit and he's just at a very low body fat to begin with, so his metabolism's already high. When you're at low body fat, you're gonna have a higher metabolism, which means when you're bulking, you're not gonna put on a lot of fat or weight. It's gonna be mostly lean muscle, which is a good thing. That's a good thing. But it doesn't mean he's born with the ectomorph gene or whatever. He's just low body fat. This guy is gonna bulk and he's gonna get some muscle, but he's mostly just gonna get fatter and fucking fatter and fucking fatter. He's gonna be like, bro, I was born with the endomorph gene, bro. Like, that's why I'm fucking so big. Like, no, bro, you just had too many cheeseburgers and your appetite just wants to eat more and more and more. And while your metabolism is already fucked, okay? Your body is already at some comfy ass body fat, like 20%, and it's gonna be like, oh, we're gonna just keep getting fucking fatter. That's why you're gonna gain more fat, not because you're a goddamn endomorph. End of discussion, okay? And the conclusion, can you stay lean year round? Kind of, okay? If you do everything I do, you can be pretty happy with like the body fat you stay with year round. But yeah, that's pretty much it.